Hello and welcome to the Crafty Diamond. I am Debbie. If you are new, welcome. If you are not new, welcome back. I really appreciate everyone's support. And if you are not familiar with my channel, I have all diamond painting videos. So if you like this one, check out some of the other ones that I have. I am going to have my weekly WIP Chat today, and that's a work in progress. I am going to be working on a diamond painting. And I also wanted to show you guys, I have gotten my first diamond painting that I have had dry mounted, and I also had it professionally framed. I have framed a couple of diamond paintings in the past, and I did it myself, but this one was actually from Hobby Lobby. They dry mounted it, and then they also put it into a frame, and I think it turned out amazing. I do see where a couple of drills fell off. I just picked this up not very long ago today, and I'm going to put those drills back on, and also I might I'm gonna look really closely and see if there's anything else, but I can definitely understand why they may have come off. I thought that I had rolled them really good, but apparently not as good as I should have. Also, this diamond painting came from Ever After, and this is called Beautiful. It is by Annie Reyes. So I'm going to turn you around and let's get started. If you want something to work on, feel free to work on anything. Doesn't have to be a diamond painting. It can be anything that you want to do, or simply just listen to this like you would a podcast. So let's get started, everybody. I'm really excited to show you what I've gotten done so far this week. Okay, I think that I am ready. I am going to be working on the picnic basket, which is right here. So I am right in this area around the drinks here, the blanket, and then it goes up to, I think, his knee. So I haven't gotten very far. This is a round, and the first time I've ever done a round by Orloa. I have done several squares by Orloa and really liked all of them. The rounds I am not sure about yet, but I am liking how this is coming out. I think the colors are really pretty. So of course I'm going to keep working on it and then see whenever I'm done how exactly I feel about it. I am going to be working on the basket at first, and I am using a light pad, so it might have a little bit of a glare for you guys, but I really need to use a light pad today. We are getting ready for some more bad winter weather, and unfortunately it's hard to see without using my light pad because of me being in the basement and only have one small window, which is fine with me, but sometimes it's not the easiest to record, but I'll make do. And the pen that I am using today, this is from Leopard Leatherworks, and I love this pen. I like how it just feels with my hand. I also am using a multi-placer that really needs to be cleaned. I don't know how that got so nasty, but it has some putty on it. It was laying on my table, and I think the cat tried to get it. Now it's off. Okay, anyway, I am using this it's an 8 placer from Diamond Art Club. I really like how thin that Diamond Art Club's multi-placers are. I am not really particular with my single placer, but my multi-placer, I am very, very particular with it. I can't hardly use the ones that are wider. I'm also using from Sparkling Nana, I am using a gorgeous purple coaster that she made, and it came from Melissa, who was my Georgia diamond painting Secret Santa. And also she gave me a trinket tray that matches as well. I'm using that one, and all of this matches my canvas, just happens to match it. It says Mimi because I'm a Mimi. And I'm using a Diamond Art Club tray because I wanted to use a white tray. And for my multi-placer, I am using putty from Randa's Crafty Corner today. I think that's everything. I don't always say what I'm using because I don't want anyone to think, well, you have to use these particular, things, or they have to come from a small shop haul, or anything like that, because that's not true. I don't care. Sometimes I'll even use the pens that come with it. I don't that often because I do have arthritis and I need a pen that's going to feel good and conform to my hands and fingers as much as possible. And so that's one reason why I do use the nicer pens, just for that fact. The other ones really, after just a few minutes, start to hurt my hand. The little plastic ones that come in diamond paintings. Although the one that came from Mirthful Diamonds, I have used that one. And I could have used that one on this one, but I didn't. I should have. I'm really enjoying that pen also because it's a good lightweight. It's not too thick. But I've been using this one all day, and so I just picked this one up. I'm not really particular on making sure that my pen matches. I used to be, but now I just pick whichever pen that I've been using. I like to rotate my pens. If I haven't used one in a while, I'll use it, but I do have a lot of pens. Just because I couldn't decide on what I really liked, and so now I have a few companies that I like to purchase from, but for the most part, I haven't bought a pen in a while since, well, I did buy one for Christmas, but I guess that hadn't been that long ago. But how is everybody doing? Let me know in the comments. I hope that everyone is okay. I hope that everyone survived the winter storms. If you had anything that happened to you last Saturday, all weekend we were under a winter ice storm watch, and we did dip down in the low 20s. And wind was really brutal on Saturday. We did not get any snow, but we weren't expecting any snow last week. But it did get super cold and the wind was awful. We were more concerned that with the wind that we might lose some trees, not us, but in our neighborhood, that might cause us to lose power. And so my husband had the generator ready. He had extra gas for it, ready to go, just in case we did lose power. And they said it was going to be the worst on Sunday. And thank goodness we got up on Sunday and it wasn't that bad. Several people that my husband works with got called out on emergency storm duty, and surprisingly he didn't. I was really shocked, and he was too, that he didn't get called in. But the roads really weren't bad. Now, we didn't get out. We were just told that the roads, once you got onto the main roads, they weren't that bad, but it was getting on the main roads for us that could have been a slight problem. But thank goodness we did not lose power, because my husband just knew that we were going to. He was prepared. And normally he always says, oh, nothing's going to happen, don't worry about it. And it doesn't. But this time he had me a little concerned. So I was ready. I had everything charged up. I had my iPad charged up, or my tablet, so that I could use it for my pattern keeper if I decided I wanted to work on my cross stitch conversion, and I didn't have to worry about it. But now this week we've been under a storm warning again, and this started yesterday. So we're going to have to just wait and see about the weekend. But now they're predicting that we could get quite a bit of snow in our area. And they've already today have been out. They've already are starting to put the brine down that they use for the roads to help with the ice and the snow. And they didn't do that last week. They did it after the fact, or during, but they didn't do it before. And so I went out today to Hobby Lobby because one of my diamond paintings that I had framed and dry mounted was done. And I am just over the moon with that diamond painting. I'm going to have it hung up, and then I'm going to show you on my next WIP Chat, or my next diamond painting video that I do. I might have shown you guys in the beginning, because I always do my intro after I finish my video. So I might have already showed you guys. If I did, I hope you enjoyed it. If not, you will be seeing it soon. I don't know, but I probably would have already shown you. But I am absolutely in love with that. It's the first one that I've had dry mounted, and they did a great job. I was a little concerned. I thought maybe I should have had another one done, but I did. It's not exactly my first one, because I had one done for my best friend. That was a really small one that I had done for her for part of her Christmas present, and it turned out really pretty. And I did have that one dry mounted, and I started worrying when I was having it done. I thought that may not have been a good idea, because if they didn't do a very good job or something happened, then I don't have a diamond painting to give her. But luckily that wasn't a problem. But I did go out today, because it took about 2.5 weeks, because they were running behind on framing. And I got so many compliments as I was walking around Hobby Lobby, and they were all asking me, where did you get that? I want to go and get me one. So I told them, what it was, and that I did it, and it's just really, really pretty. I'm really pleased with how it turned out. Cannot wait until I get it hung up in my craft room. I thought about taking it to work, and I thought, no, I won't get to see it that often if I take it to work, because I'm only in my office 2 days a week, and if I have it in my craft room, I'll be able to see it more. So I decided, so I'm going to put that in my craft room. I am going to do a couple of small ones to do for work that I found at Hobby Lobby that was Hobby Lobby's brand, and they're already on something like dry mount. So I am going to work on that one sometime for work. I don't know when, and that was more appropriate too, because it's smaller and it will go on the wall right when you open the door. So that's probably a good place to put it. My dog is moaning. She's exhausted from what I don't know. Even Molly doesn't want to go outside. She loves the cold weather, and she goes out there. I open the door and she looks at me like, well, if I have to go out there, you need to go out there with me. Oh no, honey. That's what we paid for, having a backyard that has a nice area for her to run and play, and we have a good fence. And no, I'm not going out there with you. So I made her go outside. She was out there for about 10 minutes, and she came scratching on the door wanting to come back in. She had had enough. And the wind is starting to pick up. She does not like wind. Wind really scares her. So I think that was part of the reason why she didn't want to go out. It's almost impossible to get her out when the wind is really bad. So I'm kind of dreading the weekend. But my husband is on alert again, so hopefully he won't have to go out anywhere. But 2 or 3 people that he works with were called out. And unfortunately, if he gets called out, he doesn't get paid for it, because he's on salary. And they really shouldn't be called out, because that's no longer his job, his area where he's working now. It's no longer his job to have to deal with call outs, but when they're on emergency, everybody is all hands on deck. So I just hope that he's not called out, and then he has to be really careful trying to get out of here. And on top of that, I just am worried for him to be out in this nasty weather, and I don't want Paige and I have to stay here by herself either, especially if we lose power. So we'll see, but I hope that everybody stays safe this weekend. Stay inside if you can, if you are affected by winter weather. And maybe you can get some extra diamond painting in. That's what I'm hoping to do, but I do have a lot of work that I have to get done. I'm going to try to get that done tonight. After we have dinner, we'll sit around and watch TV. And so while my husband's watching TV, I will probably just sit there and work and get everything done that I possibly can for my other school. My full-time school, I got everything done this morning, so I am good until Monday. Last Monday, the school was actually closed. Campus was closed, but I don't go in on Mondays anyway, so I worked from home, but a lot of people were affected. Let's see what color I want to go with. There's quite a bit of colors in this little basket. Hopefully we won't have any bad weather. I did call Madison, told her that she needs to watch out for the weather and for her and Kyle and the baby, to make sure that they have everything that they need. So she ran out today to the store. Took her forever to find some distilled water for the baby. She finally found some at the third store. They didn't have any of the baby distilled water. They didn't have any regular distilled water. And she did get some formula, because she's using formula and she's nursing. So she has plenty of formula for her. And then they had gotten some more food just in case. And she said, Mom, I couldn't even find any ground beef. I wanted to make hamburgers tonight for dinner, and they didn't have any ground beef. And I said, we have plenty of ground beef if you need to come by and get some, but I don't have any already made up patties, which is what I prefer. But we don't. I looked at the store too, because that's what I wanted. And my husband said, well, I don't mind grilling out. I'm like, of course, you're the only person I know that would even consider grilling out in the rain, in the snow, when it's cold. We do have undercover that he's under whenever he is grilling, but it's still cold. I mean, it's under a little tarp. Well, it's like a gazebo type, and he's under that, but it's still cold. But he said he did not mind at all, so I think we are going to try to grill out tomorrow night. So if we grill out, he grills out in the snow, I'll definitely have to take some photos and put that in my next WIP Chat, just to see him all bundled up, wearing thermals and wearing 3 layers of clothes. And he'll get out there, and he said it doesn't bother him a bit. He loves to grill out. So maybe we'll have steak tomorrow night. I don't know. We still need to get some firewood. We waited almost too late trying to get to make sure that our fireplace was okay, that it didn't need anything, because we bought this house early part or middle part of last year, and so we didn't know if it needed to be cleaned out. We assumed that it did, and it did need to be cleaned out. It was cleaned out really good, but they did check it and said that we didn't have any leaks. There was nothing wrong. There wasn't anything that was in there in the chimney that we needed to worry about. So we feel safe and comfortable now about having fires. And we had, not last year because we didn't have a fireplace where we were renting until we found this house, but the house before last in 2024 and a little part of 25 before we moved, we had a fireplace and we used it all the time on the weekends. It was just, if it was cold enough, my husband had a fire going. So we do miss that. It's been a year now since we really got to have a nice fire, and we were going to go ahead and get some firewood, but right now we really don't have a place to put it anyway until we make a spot underneath our deck. So we decided we're just going to wait, probably just wait until next year, get some firewood, or end of this year, get some firewood before it gets winter again. All right, I need another color. Let's see. And these are not in any order, which drives me insane. I should have put them in order. I just hadn't bothered to take the time to do it. It is getting close to the end of the month. Does anybody have any events that they're going to participate in? I have kind of decided that after the event is over for Ticket to Ride that I'm participating in, I may not participate in any more events. And if I do, it'll be unofficially. I'm not going to participate officially in any more events except for mine. And of course, that's not really participating officially since I'm the one doing it. Now, this is why I use a trinket tray. I can't find my tweezers to open up my Elizabeth Ward container. And if I had that on my trinket tray, like I should have, then I would have known exactly where it was. I've just kind of cleaned up my desk. It's kind of a mess where it was. And I hate to show you guys what my desk looks like, but maybe you want to see that, because then you can see that I am a hot mess, which I definitely am. My desk is not always clean. Sometimes it has other things on it. I have to clean it off at times before I can diamond paint, especially if I'm going through and trying to straighten up my craft room and decide what I'm going to keep, what I'm going to get rid of other crafts. And sometimes I'll just put it on the edge of my desk and then it starts to pile up. I would have to pick a section or be in a section that has a lot of confetti. It's not really even a lot of confetti. It is a lot of color changing, but the confetti, it's not heavy confetti, but it's enough to where I have to keep changing colors right now. And I hate doing that on camera because it's like I'm not doing anything right now. But looking for the next one, let's go with the one that I call a cross. It should be very handy. I really need to get this straightened out, but I just started working on this one and decided I wanted to work on it for a little bit. I was doing it for Ticket to Ride. I wanted to go ahead and get a couple of squares done, and I just went ahead and went with however I kitted this up, which was in, I think, DMC order. I have not changed them since then, so I really need to do that. I just don't want to take the time to do it, which it wouldn't take just a few minutes. I mean, there's 68 colors, but it's not that bad. And also with using the Elizabeth Ward, I want to make sure that everything fits in this container. And you have to put them in just right for them all to fit in there. But that is quite all right. Nothing really happened here last week. I was able to work from home Monday through Wednesday. We did have a meeting starting to get ready for competitions and what we call boot camp that's coming up for work. And state competition will be here before I know it. I don't know how many students right now are going to compete. So that will also determine, it won't really determine, but it will help. The more that competes, the more we have a chance to go to nationals, which is going to be in Las Vegas. And that's going to be in June. And the school pays for everything. I've never been to Vegas. I never have really even had the desire to go. I don't gamble, but I heard that you need to go to Vegas at least one time. You don't have to gamble to go to Vegas. They have all kinds of shows and different things. So my husband now said that he may go, and he doesn't fly. And so I told him, I said, you can fly with us. We'll have to get your ticket separate because the school will go ahead and get mine. And then once I find out what flight that we're on, then I can get him on the same flight. And he said he wasn't planning on flying. He's going to drive. And I asked him, I said, do you realize how far it is to drive? And also, you're going to be on your own on driving because I have to go with the school. I have to go with the students. And so I cannot go with you. We can meet there. You can stay with me, but I can't go with you. You're going to have to go on your own. He said that he was perfectly fine with that. And he said maybe I could ride back with him and we could stop by the Grand Canyon. And so just to say he's been there. I've been there before, but I was very young. I was like 16. So I don't remember a lot. But I don't know if I'd want to go back with him. I'm like, that's such a long trip. And I even told him I have a voucher that I have for my Delta Sky Miles, that if I don't use it, I'm going to lose it. And I'm not planning on using it this year. So I said I could transfer it over to him, and then he can use that towards his flight. And he may even be able to fly first class while I'm in coach with students. And he just said, I'm not going to fly. So I'm sure that he will change his mind and not go. It would be fun if he were to go. I think that would be really cool. It'd be really nice for him to go, but I bet he changes his mind. But I'm going to keep an open mind about it. But normally if he says he's going to go or do something like that, he will change his mind at the last minute. And I get it, because I'm not driving that far. Coming back, I might consider it, but I think he wants to come back before I can. So if he does, then he'll be on his own going back. And he's perfectly fine being by himself, and I'm okay not going. Let's see, another color. Oh my goodness, I should have kept up with how many times I'm changing colors. On a lot of this, it has been some line blocking in here, which has been nice, but now I'm getting into all these different colors over here. The dress and his shirt and pants had a little bit of color blocking. It had more line blocking, where there were 5 or 6 in one line, and then there was another color, but that's not bad either. So that's really all I had going on. I did have to go to 2 campuses that day that I went for our meeting. We had a good number of students, good turnout, that came for the on-campus meeting. We usually meet online, but they wanted to meet on campus, and I said, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's meet before we go. And I'll have to start working on transportation and getting everything set up, getting the payment sent in to our state representative so that we can go to boot camp, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. And that's going to be a lot of work. Once after boot camp, it just starts really getting crazy. So at least I have someone to help me this year. I've been doing it on my own now this is going on the 4th year, so 3 years I've done this on my own. So he is going to be helping, which is nice. I'm not by myself, because we have 19. They also have a checklist, and your chapter can earn rewards, and they have shout outs in the meetings at nationals and at state. So we haven't done that before either, and this year we are participating, and they are loving it. We have so many students that have been involved. They're excited about it. And so I think we're going to get, right now, at least 1 award. I don't think we won't be able to get the top tier. We may get the first 2. I don't think we'll get top tier. But, we might. We still have a little bit of time. I think you have until the end of February to get everything in. And so we could get enough points to where we'll have enough for a top tier award. So we will see. That would be a lot of fun if, just for the shout outs for our school, that we have completed something. We're up there too, and now we're starting to really get into the competition, since we've taken us a couple of years to get back in the swing of things. All right, another one. We're going to go for a diamond this time. That was easy to find. That was... All right, so now I'm working on diamonds. There's only a few of those. This may be boring for everybody because of all these color changes, or you might enjoy it. These diamonds are really shiny. I do like them. I haven't used very many of the special drills yet, though. It would be nice to get some of those ABs in there. I think that's going to be more towards the top. There is a lot of color blocking when I get to the sky. I might go ahead and do 1 or 2 sections of that, and then come back over into this bottom section, so that way I don't get so bored working on all that color blocking in the sky. That's one thing I am not crazy about. I'm not crazy about doing skies because there's just so much color blocking usually. Or it may even be a lot of confetti, but it's all the same color pretty much. Same color scheme. So there's that one. Just kind of working my way around here. As far as diamond painting goes, I did complete one. that was my 100th diamond painting, and I posted that yesterday, which would have been Friday for you guys, and I am really glad that that painting is done, but I'm really excited that I now have completed 100 paintings, which seems like so many to me. And then if I look at it, I'm like, I don't know why it took me so long to do all this, but I kind of do, because I didn't start counting my diamond paintings until I started my channel, and that was in 2022. Oh wow, is that right? Yeah, 2022. And that's when I started counting diamond paintings. I didn't even think about it in 2020 and up until the end of 2021, early part of 2022. And most of those they were not premium diamond paintings, which, you know, that's fine. I don't always have to have premium diamond paintings, but I want to make sure that my diamond paintings that I do are licensed, because I feel really bad for artists that can have their rendering stolen and made into a diamond painting. I didn't even know that was a thing until I really started my channel and I heard people talking, and so that's when I thought, no, I've got to stop doing this. This isn't fair. And my sister is married to an artist, and so I know that he's even struggled, and he has very unique artwork, but he has even struggled, and he has seen a lot of his friends where they have had their artwork stolen. And so because of that, I am even more careful than I used to be, which is why I don't do the discount companies that often on my channel anymore. I used to do them quite a bit, and I would go and check and make sure that the diamond paintings weren't stolen. I would do a reverse search on Google and make sure, and I would be really careful, but then I thought, this is just so much work trying to be careful, and even as careful as I can be, there still might be something that I could easily miss. And so I decided it's just best for me to have licensed diamond paintings, and so that's the main reason why I do buy from the companies that I buy from. I also love to buy from small shops, and I do have an abundance, I'll just say that, an abundance of Diamond Art Club. These are kind of sticking together. I may have to get my little tool out in a minute. But I do have several from small shops too that I'm going to start working on. But I take a while to diamond paint. I mean, I only did 18 diamond paintings last year, and I shouldn't say only, because that sounds like I'm short-sighting myself, and I'm not. But really, I mean, 18, I guess it's a good number. I don't know, but I do more larger diamond paintings, and so I think that's part of the problem. I don't think I'm a slow diamond painter. I've gained quite a bit of momentum and speed over the years, but it has taken me a little while to get to that 100 mark, but it felt so good when I hit the 100 mark. So if you haven't looked at that video, I will put that in the top of the eye. Also, I'll put that underneath the description so you can take a look at that. It was not the one that I thought I was going to do for my 100th, but I decided I'm just going to go with whichever one that I finish first, because I was at 99 at the end of last year. And so I decided I'm going to go with whichever one that I finish first, whichever one hits that 100th. I'm not going to try to make it work. And I had a wheel spinner that I did for my January WIPs, and it kept coming up with the one that I finished. So that's why I finished that one earlier. Got that one finished as my 100th. So now I'm going to move forward towards that 150. And I don't know if I'm going to do a video when I hit 150. I might. I didn't even think about hitting, whenever I hit 50 diamond paintings, that didn't even cross my mind to go ahead and do a video for my 50th. But maybe I'll do one for 150. I don't know. But as long as it takes me to do diamond paintings, it will be a very long time, probably another 4 years before I do a 200th diamond painting review. And I'm okay with that. But it just felt good. It felt really good to say that I finally have gotten 100 diamond paintings behind my belt. I don't know why it felt so good, but you know, it's just a number. What's the difference in that or 99? But I do like that I did get to 100. I don't think that I will frame that one. I'm just going to put it on my display rack. And I'll do that after I do my month-end review, and it will stay on the display rack until I do my year-end. And then once that's done, then I'll decide if I'm going to box it up or if I'm going to keep it on my display rack. That's kind of how I've decided to go forward, and I will show you guys my display rack once I get it set up. I need to pull some of my diamond paintings out of storage and put some of those on there, some of the older ones, but I'm not putting all of them on there because I'm only going to have one display rack. And I'm still undecided how I am doing the smaller ones. My smaller ones keep falling off of my display rack. I know that others haven't had a problem, so I need to reach out to somebody, or if anybody that's on here, if they are using the Architect racks, let me know if you're able to put small diamond paintings on yours. I put a small one on mine and it doesn't stick, or doesn't stay. It will not stay on the clips. It falls right through. So I'm doing something obviously wrong, and the other ones stay very well. This size will be good to put on there, and then all of my other ones, but some of the smaller ones though does not like my display rack. I need to get an and sign now. Let's see, I usually work on this from left to right on the symbols, or I'll work on the ones that I have the most of. What I plan on doing for my videos for the upcoming week is that I'm going to have my month-end review, where I'm going to share all of my WIPs that I have, except for my 2 that I have as their own projects. They will be on a separate video, and then that will be on Tuesday. And then on Thursday, I think I'm going to show my temperature chart. It's going to be interesting what colors that I'm going to be able to use for this weekend. And then on Saturday, I will have my WIP Chat. And sometimes my Thursday has been going over to Friday instead of Thursday. So it's either going to be on Thursday or on Friday. I'm trying to get back to my schedule, but if I can just get to 3 days in 1 week, that is pretty close on my schedule. I've got these that I need to do, but I think I'm going to go ahead and do the pound sign because there's a few more of those. I have not read anything all week. I know that's crazy. Well, I did start on a book and I just didn't like it. Unfortunately, I don't know, it was a book of the month. I've had it for a while. I read about 100 pages in, and every time I pick it up, I'm like, oh, I need to do something else. I need to do this, I need to do that. And then whenever I got to it this last time, I said, well, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to read for a little bit. And then I decided, oh, I need to clean the bathroom. And I thought, no, if you need to clean the bathroom when you have your time to read, then something is terribly, terribly wrong, especially having to clean our shower, because I hate cleaning our shower. I just absolutely hate it. So that's when I said, nope, I'm not going to finish this. It's going to be a do not finish. My neighbor had read it before. She really liked this book. And I went ahead and gave it to her sister because she had gotten it from the library or somewhere, and her sister wanted to read it, and I said, you can just have it. I already told her that she could have it once I was done. I said it might be a little while, and then I just decided on Tuesday, I'm like, just give it to her. I don't want this book. I want it out of my house. It was awful. So I just could not get into it. And sometimes there's books like that. So I was, okay, not finishing it. And from there, I did not start on anything else. I haven't picked my books for February book of the month yet. I hadn't even looked at them. But I've gotten to where I have so many book of the months that I'm behind on that I really don't want to get any more book of the months until I get caught up, which is going to be a while. And then once I get caught up, I don't know if I'm going to stay in book of the month. I've been in there for a long time, and I hate to get out and then I have to start all over again if I did decide to get out. I may just skip each month and not get anything for a while, and I can do that too. That's one really nice perk of book of the month. And I did try out their audio, and I didn't like that at all. I did not like the narrator, and apparently the narrators that they use are not the same narrators that you're going to get if you went through the library or you went through Audible or something like that. And it was just so monotone, I couldn't do it. So I can't really say that I finished a book this week. I'm already behind for 2026. My goal is 50. I'm already 4 behind, but I guess I got plenty of time to get caught up, I guess. And watching, I have been binge watching Virgin River. I'm finally on season 2 now. Almost on season 3. And I'm able to diamond paint and watch Virgin River in my craft room. I've been doing it off of my computer because I don't have a TV in my craft room. And the computer's been fine. I have a fairly big screen on my computer. So I've been doing that. And I have finished an audio book. It was an older In Death. I've been waiting on the new In Death to come out. So as I was waiting on that one, I went ahead and listened to another one that I really liked from a while back. So I did listen to one of those. And I'm waiting on a couple of audiobooks from the library. I think I'm now at like 8th in line. So I should be getting a couple of books in soon from there. And as for watching actual TV, I really haven't. At night, we have YouTube TV, and so my husband has been watching I think it's called The Closer, and that's pretty good. So we've been watching that. It's a series, and that one's directed by Kevin Bacon. Also has his wife as one of the main character that is in the movie or the series. Then there's another one that comes after that one. I think that one's called Major Crimes. And we've been watching that just because it fills up the time after dinner and before bed if there's nothing else on. We have been watching Ugly Houses. That's not the full name of it, but it's where they go around and they determine who has the ugliest house, and then the one that wins gets a renovation package by Allison Victoria. And we've watched her show before. We used to love to watch just renovations and things. I don't know why, but we really got into that for a while. And so that is just really funny to see some of these ugly houses. And it's like, why in this world would you even consider buying something like that? And there was one that was really, really rough. But then they showed the view. And I'm like, yeah, I probably would have gotten that too, just for the view. But I would have had the house demolished. I would rather live in a camper or a tiny home on that property, if possible, than I would have even want to set foot in that house. It was that bad. It was absolutely horrible. But I could see on that one, yeah, it was right on the ocean. It was an amazing view. There was nobody around. And so that would be like a perfect place for us. But otherwise, it's like, why? They had like 16 different staircases in the house, and one had these weird doors. You'd go in and you'd come out in another weird room. And then one had like animals all in it. There's one that cats were just running everywhere, and it was really weird. But somehow, I guess we're weird too, because we enjoy watching it. I think that will be over soon, where they'll go ahead and they will determine who has the ugliest house, and then we'll get to see the reno. But for some of these, the amount of money that they give these people to have the renovation done, no amount of money on some of these are going to make it. It'll make it better, but it's not going to make it, in my opinion, livable. And I don't know, how embarrassing would that be if they say, you have the ugliest house in America? I mean, I guess these people are happy because they're going to get a renovation, but I would be absolutely embarrassed. But apparently, there's people that aren't, that they like to do that kind of thing. So how would you feel about that? Would you feel that if your house was chosen as the ugliest house in America, would you be up to that? I guess if I wouldn't even see myself buying a house like that in the first place, but if I did, I guess I wouldn't care how ugly that it is because I bought it. I don't know. That's just kind of weird to me, but it's a fun show. It's one of those true reality things that we do like to watch those every now and then, just something to watch, because we never can find anything that we really want to watch. On the weekends, my husband will find a movie on Netflix. Sometimes I'll watch it with him, and sometimes I will just sit in our den and I'll have a small diamond painting that I'm working on. Got a little piece of hair on here that's driving me insane. There, it's probably a dog hair. I have just a few of these left, and we are coming up to our end of our time together. I guess I could... No, I'm not going to finish this because it's going to take a little bit longer, because I've got some on the side over here too that you guys can't really see. But I got quite a bit done, which I'm really pleased about. I hope that you were able to get something done if you wanted to. If you liked this video, I have others that I have WIP Chats for, and I can put a playlist at the top of the eye as well underneath the description. I have over 100, which I should have close to 200 now. So some are not, they were not dinged as that playlist. I need to go back eventually and probably some of the older ones, but there's a lot of those that you can watch if you get bored and you're stuck in the house and you're having to just watch the snow or the ice come down. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you like this video, please click on the like button. Also, if you are not a subscriber, I would love to have you. I have content similar to this, but everything that I have is diamond painting related. And until next time, happy diamond painting. Bye.